Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm cutting my own hair. This is what it looks like before. I want to give it a nicer shape and also get some extra volume on top. So I will be using real cutting scissors for my hair and an elastic band. So if you're cutting your hair, make sure you got real hair cutting scissors. This is very important so you don't mess up the texture of your hair. As you can see, I'm doing it as a dry cut and I'm cutting just the ends of each curl that are misshapen or misformed. So I'm picking out my curls one by one and then just cutting off the pieces that are a little bit raggedy or have some dead ends. So as you can see, it's just a tiny bit that I'm cutting off, and I'm doing this one by one, curl by curl. As you can see, I am reshaping my curls a little bit to see how they fall, and then just cutting off the parts that I think are not necessary anymore or that have split ends. As you can see here, I'm just making sure that the curl looks nice after I've cut it and that it is just the way that I want it to. So yeah, I'm basically just doing this all around my hair. So an important thing when you're cutting your curly hair is that you cut the hair with the curl. So not going against it, that way you get a nice shape and it doesn't look like a blunt cut. So this was actually the second time for me actually doing a dry cut on my own hair. My hair used to be so damaged that my hair was straight, and it was fairly easy for me to cut my hair. I actually taught myself how to do it. But curly hair was actually a new thing, so I went to a curly hair salon a few times, paid good attention while they were cutting my hair, asked a lot of questions, and that way I actually tried it out. First time I was really happy with the results, and that's why I thought it would be fun to show you guys how I do it. So as you can see, it's just cutting off the tiny strands that are like flyaways or dead ends or the very thinned out parts of my curls. And then once this is done, I'm actually making sure that the shape is nice as well. But the shape part I will show you in a bit. So for now, it's just cutting the curls one by one. And yes, this takes a while, but it will make sure that you have a nice result in the end. And I mean, it's your hair, so just make sure that you're happy with what you're doing. If you're doing it too fast or cutting off too much, you can't really take it back. So make sure that you do this cautiously and that you're happy with what you're doing as well. So keep looking in the mirror and keeping track of what you're doing. And as long as you're taking off little bits and pieces, then you can always go back in and take off a little bit more if that's what you want. Also, as you can see, what I'm doing is more like a trim than a real cut. I noticed that I keep saying I'm cutting my hair, which of course I am doing, but a cut is more where you take off like a few inches of your hair, and with a trim you're just making sure you're getting rid of some dead ends or split ends. And then if you guys like, I can also do a video on dusting, and that's actually why where you just make sure that well, it's basically just to get rid of the split ends only, so not reshaping your hair, but just getting rid of the parts that actually make your hair frizz up a bit more. I trim my hair, I believe, every month and a half, I would say. And then 2 times a year, I'm actually cutting my hair and taking off a few inches. Most of the time when I'm doing a cut, I will do this at a hair salon because I feel like getting pampered. Actually, I really love going to a hair salon, only it costs so much that I just love doing the trims myself. And I also really like that I'm, well, basically in charge of what's happening to my hair. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but I always hate it when you go to a hair salon and they just take off way too much. And here I'm just going piece by piece and just checking out how much of it I want to get rid of. And as you go, as I said before, you can always take off more if you want, but first just start off small and then you can always go a little bit bigger as you go. So as I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted some extra volume and more shape in my hair. So that's why I'm mainly focusing on the top layers of my hair. As I said, I'm not intending to actually cut the length of my hair, but mostly want some extra shape and my curls to bounce back like they did before. So I'm mainly focusing on the top layer of my hair. I will be going down a bit later in the video just to make sure that the layers flow nicely into each other. So as you can see, I'm really taking my time, and with each piece I'm just making sure that I'm happy with the amount of hair that I'm cutting off. And I also keep looking in the mirror to make sure that it still looks nice overall. Of course, after I'm done cutting my hair, I will be doing a hair treatment. This will also give your hair some nice moisture back, and after the cutting that you've done right before, I always like to do a treatment after I cut my hair, not only to give my hair the moisture that it needs, but also just to see after a wash day how your hair falls once it's styled properly. So now that I'm done cutting off the dead ends of the curls, I am making sure that I am getting the shape that I want. So as you can see, the right part of my hair is pretty flat, so I'm making sure that I'm cutting off pieces going more and more upwards just to see how my hair actually falls. So just like I said before, make sure to not cut off too much at once, and then you can actually go in until you're satisfied with the length that you have. So as you can see me doing here, I'm just going into basically the same pieces and see what happens once I cut off a little bit more, see how it curls, and then go into a new piece, and yeah, basically keep going. And I can see that I'm not being too cautious with the scissors next to my head. Please make sure if you are cutting your own hair that you're careful with the scissors. Of course, I'm making sure to keep my head towards the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing, but also look in the mirror while I'm filming this. So yeah, please make sure to be careful while you're doing this. So over here you can see me parting the top layer of my hair. I am taking it all together and then putting it between my fingers and going up all the way. Then you can actually see which parts of hair are sticking out, and just getting rid of that to make sure that the shape will be nice and that you get a nice layering because of this. And then I'm just point cutting to make sure that it's not too blunt of a cut. And then I'm taking a little bit bigger piece, just going starting small and then going bigger and bigger. This is actually the entire top layer of the layers that I have, and just the parts that are sticking out are the parts that I'm actually cutting off, and then point cutting into the hair. And as I said before, this will make sure that your hair falls nicely and that you have the layers coming down in a not too blunt cut. So now I'm just checking to see how my hair would fall, if I will style it later, if I'm happy with the volume. And I'm just going into some pieces that I'm not satisfied about yet. Keep looking in the mirror while you're doing this. Keep checking if you're satisfied. I noticed that there's a big piece in the back that was layered a bit too long to my liking, so I'm just taking the part in the center of my head, putting it between my fingers again, and then just seeing how much of it comes out, like how many pieces are just sticking out, and then the pieces that are sticking out too much is just what I'm cutting off, and then point cutting just to make sure that it falls nicely. So as you can see, this instantly gives me more volume in the back. I'm actually getting a mirror just to see a little bit better how my hair looks in the back, if there's any parts that I want to go over again. So here you can see me checking how it would look if I actually gave the top layers a little bit of a shorter cut. That way I would get a little bit more volume on top. So I'm going over it once more and just cutting off the parts that I think are too long. Almost done, and I'm just taking out the pieces that are framing my face on the sides, right around my ears actually, and then I'm just using the elastic band and taking all of the other hairs to the back, just making sure that these parts are shaped in the same length, getting rid of the raggedy pieces. As you see over here, they're a little bit too long and thinned out in the bottom. So this is what my hair looks like so far. I'm just going in with a nice hair treatment. I'm using the Bouclème Intensive Moisture Treatment and then going in with the Bouclème Curl Cream and my favorite Salon Gel. And you will see it in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, this is my final result. So I'm very happy with how the curls are shaped. They got their bounce back. The moisture treatment really helped to give back some moisture. And I love how I have some more volume in my curls, some more definition, and I really love the shape as well. The fun thing with curls is that they automatically curl up more once you've cut them, so it actually looks like my hair is much shorter now, even though I actually cut off like tiny pieces. So please, if you guys like this video or if you're trying it out yourself, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you like my videos and stay tuned for some new ones. See you guys later. Bye bye.